Hey Griffin, so day 7 we're going to be looking at syntax, okay? So remember, syntax is just the grammar of how code is written, okay? Imagine syntax similar to the grammar in English, right? In English, you need to capitalize your letters, make sure you end with periods, okay? Syntax is similar, but we use it for code, okay? It's the way that we write code so that computers can read it, right? If you wrote something with improper grammar, well, it's really hard to understand it. It's the same way for a computer. We have to make sure we write it correctly so that the computer can read it. Otherwise, you'll get something called a syntax error due to making a mistake in your code. So we're going to be reading some code today, looking for syntax errors, and there's some that are extremely common that we can identify right away to make sure we're looking out for it, okay? So the common errors are forgetting a semicolon at the end of the line, that's this symbol here, forgetting a comma, not using var when we declare a variable or a function, misspelling a function or a variable name within our code, or not correctly using our brackets when we block it off in like a function or an if statement or a loop. So what you're going to be doing today is I'm going to give you some code to read and you'll be like looking for errors here, okay? So I have this code here and there are 4 errors within this code I need to fix, okay? So let's look at this line by line. Let's start with line 1. It says var x equals 0, okay? So it has a var, it's a variable. I have my variable name x. Well, at the end of every line is a semicolon. So I need to make sure I have my semicolon here. So that would be my error number 1, okay? Now, I read this next line of code. It says rect. It's a function, okay? I don't need a var, 100, 100, 100, 100. This one has a semicolon, that's good. Notice here what it's missing. All the inputs are supposed to have commas there, right? So on line 2, I'm missing 1, 2, 3 commas. So there's my second error, my third, and my fourth, okay? Now, you'll be describing these errors down here below it, okay? So this is what you have for your model problem, okay? You'll be describing these errors. The biggest thing that you need to make sure that you're putting is the line number, okay? If you don't specify the line that the error is on, it's really hard to find it, right? So specifying the line that the error is on, as well as like where the error is, and as well as like what it is, okay? Let's look at another example. This is actually number 1 on your worksheet. Congratulations, I'll do one for you. So it says, reading the following code, mark down all the syntax errors, right? So here we have 2 errors here that we need to find out, right? So I always start line by line. I say, okay, line 1, what am I doing here? Well, I have this x equals 10. I'm declaring a variable. Notice here, I have no var. If I'm declaring a variable, I need a var there. So that's my first error, right? So my first error is no var on line 1, okay? Make sure we describe that line as well, okay? Let's look at this next line here. I'm using a function here. Let's see, I have my inputs, good. I have my commas, that's good. Well, I forgot a semicolon at the end. So that's number 2. That's error number 2. Error number 2, no, and you can honestly, you can just put the little symbol here. On line 2, okay? No semicolon on line 2, you can just put the symbol shorthanded like that, okay? So you'll be doing this same thing for the assignments that follow. I gave you hints here that tells you how many errors are within there so you don't get stuck, okay? Good luck.